Good evening. Welcome to the regular Planning Commission meeting, November 13th, 2025. Please rise and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's see. The Planning Commission members present this evening, we have Ms. Hugo, Mr. Andre, Ms. Coulter, Mr. Johnson, Mr. Joyner, Mr. Gellings, Mr. Hoffman, Ms. Nassar. I'm getting a lot of feedback. Planning and zoning administrator, Mr.
Ooh, sorry.
Jeremy Smith, and from Giffords Webster, right?
Yes.
Or Ms. Bain.
Because I thought.
Okay. Next item on our agenda is an opportunity for public comment. If there's anyone here that wants to address the Planning Commission on anything we won't have a public hearing on, we do have a public hearing on it later on today. But we'll wait, you guys are on the agenda here shortly. So, but I do have to open up the public comment section, which I'll do right now. Open it up. Anyone that wants to speak? Don't see them. We'll close the public comment, bring it back up to the Planning Commission for approval of the minutes for October 2nd, 2025. Mr. Secretary, any changes?
I would say there's no changes, and this is just approving those as presented.
Is there a motion to do that?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Okay. Ms. Nassar will support. The motion was by Mr. Johnson. All those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion passes 8-0. Any changes to the agenda?
None.
Okay. Motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Motion to approve the agenda.
Motion by Mr. Johnson.
Support.
Support by Mr. Joyner. All those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion passes 8-0. Any correspondence?
None.
No correspondence? No old business?
None.
That brings us to new business.
All right.
So we have event space presentation by the Petermans. You want them to go first, or anything that you wanted to say, Mr.?
No, I'll let them, this is their time to present all their information that you all have in your packets.
This is the first time, I think, that I feel like at Grand Lake Township Shark Tank.
Gosh, I'm so sorry.
Did everybody get a chance to look at? Thanks, Jeremy, he gave us a lot of really good scoop. He actually came out to the property and said, you should probably give some thought to this, this, and this, and he asked to put that into a letter, and I hope that kind of gives us an overview and where we're at. 10 years, well, in 26 it'll be 10 years, so we're just here, we're excited. We're hoping you guys see the same thing that we do, and you can help guide us in how we can have this be a little jewel or a gem for our community.
So maybe you can just kind of take us through what you're planning to do, how you want to use the property, things that are on the, maybe just take us right through the, does that work?
Well, we're going to come into conversation because there's so many different ways that we can utilize it.
Well, what's happened recently, or when we bought the property, it was a drawing on a sheet of paper about what you're going to put the grapes in and that. So it's really been a labor of love by George and some folks and some friends of ours. For me, it's a labor of love, and the property has matured into something that I never anticipated the beauty of or that other people would want to be there and enjoy it. And their comments, I would ask them, what have we missed? And they've all said, well, nothing. I mean, not the flowers, not anything. And so it's really been just being able, I have a full-time job, and coming home and then working out there on the property for 3 hours a day or whatever. It's hard work, it's good work, but what I think we have developed is a space and place that you can, of tranquility. We've had people ask, can we have yoga classes here? Can we have our wedding here? Can we have an open house here? And it's become to the point where we're now getting requests from a partnership with Boys and Girls Club, with Mont Culinary College, with
The Grand Lake Art Council.
the Art Council. So they're finding value in the property from several different directions. And I think at this point, we want to partner and be a Grand Blanc Township destination, if you will, or for people to talk about it. You don't have to go up north to see a vineyard. And if you haven't been on the property, you probably looked at those pictures and said, that really exists there? And it does. But it doesn't provide the feeling that the property will give you and that it's given others. And so for me, I would like to see the direction from you as to how we can be that focus point or one of the better opportunities for the township, which will in the long run create business partnerships with restaurants. We're not going to be a caterer with the hotels, because if someone should choose to have their event on the property, they're going to need a place to stay. We have super located for great housing and overnight with the hotels. We're also well-placed to have partnerships with Atlas, with Warwick, and with Woodfield, that if someone wanted a huge reception of a great deal of people, that's not what we want to do. At this point, that's not what we want to do. And there has been some discussion in the past with Warwick, and they even said that what a great venue to get married and we'll take the reception. We'll do the food. If they want alcoholic beverages on the property, we'll supply that. So anything that we want to do is absolutely going to be state licensed, and anything that you would want us to do, that's what we want to do. It's just our dream. However, it needs to be Grand Blanc Townships. It needs to fit into what you want to do for the future and where you want to be, and we want to be that partner.
So after looking at the write-up we put in some of the pictures, does anybody have any thoughts on how this might fit into our community?
I think you mentioned one that I didn't hear you really mention in detail, was like you had, was it a Boy Scouts or Boys Club or something that came out and did fishing in the pond?
Right. Boys and Girls Club came out along with, what's his name? What's the name of that group that has the fly fishing?
Michigan, Fly Michigan. They do, they support getting kids involved in the outdoors. So we had kids from the Girls and Boys Club of Greater Flint come out. We had 40 kids that had never caught a fish before, and within 3 hours, everyone had a chance to catch 3 or 4 fish. And it was an incredible experience. But what happened after that, we never imagined. Then Michigan United Conservation Club connected with them, and they wanted to bring not only the kids, but their parents out and do a TV show, maybe 10 minutes on their Thursday night evening, about what we did there. And that's kind of what raised the flag, well, we better.
Well, we didn't want you to find out about us through My City Magazine, through Michigan Outdoors, or any other avenue. We wanted a chance to do that. And this year, it looks like a vineyard. I mean, it was pencils with 3-foot roots, and that picture of me digging a hole, I really did that. And then we had to plant the roots, and George had his own style and all that kind of stuff. But now it looks like a vineyard. It doesn't look like sticks or pencils, periodically in the ground. But, and along with that, that is exactly what would have happened. They introduced venison and the outdoors to families and kids, and Michigan Outdoors is a part of that. Comcast is a part of that. So all of a sudden, we had the opportunity to be huge and to really put it out there. And we backed off because that's not the way to introduce something. We're not 100% sure you want to do this, but I'm hoping that you are. And how do we do that? How is it introduced? Because I can get a whole spread in My City Magazine. I could have the Chamber of Commerce out for a ribbon cutting, or have the Culinary College and Mott do a fundraiser for their students that they send over to Italy for educational purposes, to raise funds for that. Now all of a sudden, we're making money, and we haven't asked you if that's okay. So we stopped. We did not pursue any of these different opportunities.
I realize there's probably not a lot of people marching into here with an idea, but we did it, and we're excited about it. We're hoping you guys can see a way to make this something of value for our community. We're at the crossroads, and we're looking for ideas from you on what would work.
Well, I guess I'm glad that Ms. Boehm is here, our planning consultant. 'Cause I think the issue is, how does this fit into the ordinance? Where do we fit it into the ordinance? I know, Jeremy, you've got some concerns as well, but I'd like to, any thoughts on where we might be able to, I mean, the farm itself is legally okay there, right?
Right.
But when you start bringing in other people,
Right, the ordinance right now, excuse me. The ordinance right now does not provide for event barns or event spaces like this. But we could look to other uses in the ordinance, other things that are permitted in this district, like country clubs, other outdoor recreation, camping, which it's not the same thing, but just expanding beyond what we would normally think of as being in the residential district. Private clubs and things of that nature. They all have standards with them. So I think it's not terribly dissimilar. If you think about the things that we do at a country club, for example, there might be wedding receptions, there might be other events, business things. But I think these types of uses do come with some concerns, and I think that, the Planning Commission might want to talk about what some of those things are. And in particular, thinking about, on the township side, there's not much development, but it is adjacent here to the city of Grand Blanc and residential neighborhoods there. And also thinking about any standards that we would create would be then applicable elsewhere in the community in the same zoning district if we were going to do something like that. So some things to think about, but I think it'd be worth having some conversation about what kind of concerns that you might have, and then we can think about if those are things that can be mitigated through ordinance language.
Mr. Hoffman?
Thank you. So are we getting into this to the point where, for example, the property right here doesn't have a building to house something like this? So if they wanted to put up a tent to do it, would they have to ask permission to do that?
As of right now, they wouldn't be allowed to do it because they're residentially zoned.
Well, that's right, so even a
Right.
tent.
Even a tent would not be allowed.
Right, okay, so, so any any type of, well, not even structure, they don't even have to have a structure. If they're saying, hey, come over here, walk our vineyard lines, and, $20 a head to get in.
Right, for large assembly use, that's,
Okay.
you have to start at general commercial zoning.
Great, what's large?
We'd have to probably define that, but
Do you know what size of parties that you were looking at?
Under 200.
Yeah, yeah.
That would be the max, just from a parking aspect and just from the availability of property. We provided some tent images and some parking images for you to take a look at. We have had tents on the property, and
If I want to have a tent in my backyard,
I was going to bring that up.
I was going to ask that too.
I think it's clear that this isn't family-type events. Like, you could have a family party, you could have a business event if you wanted to in your backyard,
even an open house,
right, where you're putting up a tent. But,
not making money.
right, and it's not something that you're going to do maybe every weekend or all through the summer. Would be the difference between between using the property residentially and using it as a commercial
It doesn't matter
enterprise.
if it's one time a year or 20 times a year, it's still an event that's raising money or profiting from a group that's profiting.
Could somebody have a big tent up in their backyard and host a fundraiser for something? Sure. But if you're doing it on the regular, then it's not a residential use of your property.
if I could interject, we're not looking for every weekend,
Right.
only because it's not conceivably
How many is right?
possible.
We'd have to, yeah.
Necessarily. Yeah. But it's worth considering.
Yeah.
And my thought is 10 or less. So it could be 8 or
I
less.
would say that this is a needed thing, to be honest with you, and you might start off with the first year only getting 10, but I think you might get inundated. So we have to
Good.
plan for that too.
You know, the 3 venues that we've been approached to, they're not moneymakers. We're not charging them for it. Mott Community College in Florence, Italy, they have a foreign study abroad program, and Matt Cooper, he's one of the chefs of the culinary school, says, wow, you know what, we do a dinner and we charge like $150 a head, not us, but that's what they charge, and they get donors to come to support this foreign study abroad program, and they would like to have it there. Now, so this is 26. They just brought the idea to us. MUCC, they're going to come out and do a program about the Greater Flint Girls and Boys Club. There's no admission charge. We just want to have them come out with their families and then video it and put it in a 10-minute clip on PBS.
I'm betting even if you're not making a profit, somebody's using your property to make a profit, I think it's under the same.
And from a business standpoint, I know you're not trying to make money, but from the liability standpoint, you probably want to talk to your insurance company.
Well, we already have.
Okay.
Matthew Gray from, Hallmark has come out and saw the property and has figured out a way to underwrite it to make sure that we don't have something happen out of the goodness of our heart and somebody gets hurt and we lose the property. That's the last thing we want to do. So, yeah, we've already got an umbrella policy should that happen.
I'd read it real close to make sure
But
that,
we also are requesting people to have a $1 million liability policy and working through him as well.
it was one of the
Right.
things that just immediately popped up in my mind.
Yeah.
No, that's,
But,
Even if we,
I mean, I
so
don't want to
we,
go down the insurance road, I guess,
yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
an idea, like, hey, you might want to think about this.
Our harvest is
Right.
done by volunteer, so, but if something ever
Yeah, yeah.
happened, we want to make sure we don't lose the place.
Oh, yeah,
or
exactly.
Something like that, yeah.
Mr. Andre, did you have a question?
Just a quick. So looking through the pictures, and I'm so glad that you included them in there. It looks great.
Oh, it's
I mean,
beautiful.
It looks, it does. It doesn't look like something that we would say, hey, this is, in Grand Blanc Township. But it is, and it's awesome. I congratulate you for taking on this endeavor and bringing it to this point. And one of the things I was curious about is, The idea of event space and having in this unique setting, I think it's great. When you had on your sketch here, like event, like what, or were you thinking a permanent structure? Maybe talk us through about what does event space mean to you as, to operate your business, and what does that mean?
Right now, it's at its infancy and, a tent. You know, I've gone out with my very large 100-foot measuring tape and that's part of the layout. Where could we physically put a tent? And as I told my wife, it's the money shot on top of the hill overlooking the pond with the fountain. And that's pretty much the space. And you're talking probably the 30 by 60.
So tents to start off with?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then what do you think, you mentioned, I heard 2026, what are your timing? What are you thinking about? You're here now in November of '25. What's your timing or your thoughts of wanting to move forward with your next steps?
Well, if you guys see value in MUC coming out and doing a clip on us, or the Girls and Boys Club, with them coming in, or Shirley Easton from the Grand Lake Art Council, she was talking about with her board doing some type of art in the vineyard. And I said, wait a minute, I don't mind doing something like that. It adds some culture, some value to our community, but they're all in a holding pattern waiting for, if you guys say something like this is okay to do. And if you just want to, just try a year of this to see how it works, and we come in and we discuss the type of event we'd like to put on, and after you guys review it, say, that's what we're looking for right now. We're not, until we know we can get permission to go back to them and tell Mott Community College they can do a fundraiser there for their study abroad program, or, it's not going anywhere.
Thank you. So I think, okay, Mr. So, go ahead.
You would ask, what is the long-range goal? We have looked at a barn-dominium design that is a home with an incredibly large garage, if you will. And that would possibly be an event space, but I don't know how that would work. We're not really looking to go build a barn to have an event in without it being a residence of some sort as well. That would be, it's really cool. Anyway, but at this point, the money that we've put in the property is the money we've put in the property. And what my big fear would be is that we have these smaller events and other people know about it, and then they want to have an event, they want to pay for it, they want that event, and that's really the only way we're going to get the money back out of the property, or for this to be what it could be. So,
I have a question, either Jeremy or our consultants. What's the current zoning, and which I assume is probably residential?
It is, R1.
Are what they proposing permitted?
No.
So what would be the appropriate zoning if they are going to go
For
through?
assembly use is GC, general commercial.
I'm sorry, what?
General commercial.
Not neighborhood commercial even?
Assembly use starts in GC.
Unless
Something was changed, a text amendment was done, or if we put in language, potentially a PUD.
I wonder if you look at the section, and you don't have it up, but the sections on, let me go, let's see if I can read them to you. So one of the, under special land uses in the R1 district, recreation uses, and those include golf courses and country clubs, private, non-commercial, institutional, or community recreation centers, nonprofit swimming pool, indoor and outdoor clubs, nonprofit recreational camps, which may include cabins for rent, Boy Girl Scouts, YMCA, religious institutions, etc., which I remember we did one of those a long time, many years ago.
Was that-
And private private recreational clubs such as gun clubs, archery ranges, and game ranges.
Is that R1 or?
In the R1, yes.
Oh,
And then there's and then there's standards. And the standards are including things like they have to have direct access onto an arterial road, that they have to provide setbacks or parking, whatever. And I think that this isn't out of character with what the rest of those things are, but to make it clear, I think it's worth, and maybe we're looking at that whole section, because I think some of that might be outdated. Some of those uses and the standards have been in your ordinance for 20 or 30 years. And the township's different. The R1 district is different than it was 20 or 30 years ago. And so it might be worth taking I know it's a lot more than what you're asking for, and I apologize because this is how my brain thinks, but to make things fit and to make it align with what we already have and the structure that we have. I think there's an opportunity to do that might take a little bit of study. I always try to avoid creating language for a use, and then we have other uses that are kind of similar, and then we were like, well, why do they have this to do this here, but these only have to do this? Or having like a hodgepodge of things that are added into your ordinance. So I would maybe recommend starting there and seeing if agricultural event space, which is probably, we've talked about that before, I think it's been some time, but is something that would be worth adding, clarifying, and making sure that the standards fit with the township and the needs of the enterprise.
Mr. Smith, you had some?
So, and I've discussed this with the Petermans too, there still are some, regardless of which avenue we kind of go down, there's going to be a couple underlying things that we're going to always look at, and what we look at anytime we see site plan. Parking is one, restrooms, two, power, paving, emergency access, and noise. So those 6 things are the big things that we're gonna have to consider regardless of which way this site goes because of being an outdoor space. Like Ms. Boehm said, you've got the city right next door, you're already getting complaints by running your tractor, and now you wanna have a outdoor event, regardless of time. I get it, that if it's within parameters, then we don't have an issue, but time limits, our noise ordinance only goes till 9 o'clock, and then it goes down to quieter hours, so a lot of things to consider. I'm not saying this is a no, I'm just saying there's some major issues that we need to address before we really start looking at this as a complete site plan.
Mr. Peterman?
I've got a question. For the last 100 years, the space has been publicly used as a golf course. How did that how did that operate? Was it R1 then, or was it different when they operated as a golf course, busy during the summer, not much going on during the winter, which is kind of what this farm is?
So the golf course would have been a permitted or special land use under that zoning, yes. Yep. And they only have, the parking would just be for the clubhouse, golf course is, wide open area where there's not congregation of people all in one area. It is at the clubhouse, yes, but when you're out on the course, I'm assuming you've golfed before, that it's spread out, so the noise isn't concentrated in one
It
area.
was permitted like a nursing home, a small nursing type of, would be able to go in there. It was allowed, where this wouldn't be. What I think this was a preliminary, hey, what do you guys think?
Yep.
And so I think what you're hearing more than anything is there's an excitement for it to be
Yeah.
here.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
There's some hurdles. Legally, not mentally.
Right.
But legally, there's some hurdles. I think hopefully that's what you're hearing, is that we would be on board to help and do things, but there's gonna be some hurdles. I think that's kind of what we're saying.
So just a question for you. Did your property go all the way out to McCandless?
No. When you come down Leech Lane and you get to the first hill, we own everything from there back. So there's that first section that David Lebowski still owns, that's tied to the 10 acres. It's got the pond across from the Mexican restaurant and the Kroger's gas station. That is on David Lebowski's property.
I was just wondering about access to an arterial road.
Right, that was one of my questions I had when I looked at that project.
What's the definition of arterial road?
Let's see if we have it. I don't know if we have it in the ordinance, but it would be like, we define it in the master plan, I think. It would be like one of the bigger roads that carries traffic between places, so McCandlish.
Is it one of the biggest challenges that come, there's just not a lot of agriculture in Grand Blanc Township? Because a farm is a farm, and, just kind of curious.
Well,
There's not really a lot, how much agriculture is in Grand Blanc?
south end of town, there's more. There isn't much on the north end, but it's,
Yeah, and that was kind of one of the things I was saying, the ordinance does provide for some of these outdoor recreation uses, as they're called, but those were written at a time when the township was developed in a little bit of a different way. There's much more residential, there's a lot more commercial, there's a lot less agriculture, a lot less open space, and that doesn't mean that there's still not valued uses in the community, but that maybe we need to look at those sections and just make sure that when new uses are coming in, that we're still protecting the uses that are around them. And even though the residential isn't technically in the township, they're certainly neighbors, and so we want to be mindful of that.
So, Mr. Smith mentioned a few things. I don't know if you want to comment on the power, parking. I mean, there's a layout on here, but are you saying that parking would have to be paved?
yes, potentially. I mean, that's, as it's required today, all commercial has to have paved parking, yes, and paved driveways.
But that might be something that if the planning commission wanted
Exception could be put
to
in.
look at specific agricultural uses or related, that maybe there's modified standards for things that are supporting agricultural activities.
Mr. Hoffman?
So when you talk about commercial, that's one line to go down to. And I would have to think that going down the general commercial line, there's 1,000 hurdles. And probably not going to
That's
happen. So-
almost impossible.
Right, so-
with the surrounding residential.
So looking at your language of saying maybe we need to change a couple things, or the PUD. So that's kind of where I was saying is, I think you're having some doing this, but general commercial, I don't think is the line that's gonna be able to go down.
No.
But there's other avenues to go down, like a PUD.
The PUD would be a last option, and as we were discussing, you have to have a use to tie the PUD to.
Right.
You need that in general commercial, so that doesn't really apply. It would be, I think our best avenue at this point is modifying some language.
Yeah.
And I think
Researching and
something,
modifying.
yeah, I think it's like I said, I think it can fit into that category of the outdoor recreation uses that are permitted in the R1, but maybe catering more to, like carving out a specific, like agricultural related uses. And we can look at what all those standards are. We don't want to be like completely different without good reason. And some of those may be where the properties that would fall into that would be located. Just kind of thinking that through that as I'm talking about.
Well, we're excited that you want to get behind and help us figure out what we can do to bring this to fruition. I mean, that's all we can ask is look at it for what it is and see how we can make it happen.
Mr. Smith?
And I spoke with our upper brass here too, and as it stands, we don't have a lot of issues with the Boys and Girls Club, the 4-H clubs, whoever, the fly fishing, whatever, to go out there for a couple hours, bring a couple of bus loads of kids or whoever out there, stay for a couple hours, do their thing, and then leave. We don't have an issue with that. They've got plenty of space for a couple buses, even parents coming in with them. We don't have an issue with that. Because it's still, there's no fees, it's use, but it's still agricultural use and goes with the property. When we start getting into larger groups, even with having having a yoga class or whatever, bathrooms are still a concern. And if you're gonna have an outdoor event space, porta-johns are not gonna cut it. So if we go for larger uses, like temporarily having a porta-john out there for the fly fishing or the kids or whatever, I don't have any issue with that, that's fine. But larger things, we have to have permanent facilities for bathrooms. So that's going to be potentially an issue.
These are the hurdles that I,
Exactly, exactly.
very good. Thanks for having a vision.
Anyone else want to comment, or?
I think it's beautiful. Properties, I'm seventh generation Graham Lake. I had no idea this was here.
I didn't either
Driven
until
past this my entire
Scott Bennett
life.
said that he took, I think, did he walk the property with Mike Yancho? Maybe?
No,
Well, Mike's been
Is it you?
out there with his parents, but Jeremy's.
Scott and I went out there.
Oh, it was you and Scott, yeah. Scott said it was beautiful.
And you guys are all invited to come out, seriously. We'd love, the best thing to experience this is to come out there and walk it.
George did give me an invite, and I came out and took a look, and it is a very beautiful property.
I would like to come out, but not until after. Like, I'm thinking maybe spring, summer, probably not coming now.
Winterish right now.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
When it's full of color and vibrant with the green leaves and the.
Oh, yeah.
It's really cool, but I was just out there and mulching up leaves, and some of the trees are still stubborn, they got their leaves on it, it's still incredible, even though it's got the drab colors, it's just to see the lines, it was pretty anal when I put in, I got 6 miles of trellis system. And just to see that without having to drive 3 hours to Traverse City is,
So do you all make wine?
we make it, but we have enough friends and family that it's. No.
We have no intention, and I'll repeat it, we have no intention of being a winery. That is not on the table, it's not in the cards. It's just not.
I'd go buy it.
Because that's a whole nother ballgame.
I would work
And it's a
Yeah.
huge financial commitment. And we did just harvest some grapes the 31st, and your grapes are in my refrigerator, and I feel really bad because we've like been hanging on to them so that you could see them and taste them. And I'm so bummed that I forgot them. Just being nervous, but, yeah, but they're beautiful.
Good.
They really are, and they taste good, so.
So,
So-
I think the route to go is to start looking at some language that we could fit in under a special land use. Is that-
Yeah. So Jill and I will sit down in the next coming weeks and try and get something hammered out.
And is there anything we should do in the meantime?
We're here.
Wait.
We're here, anytime you wanna come out there.
Wait and pray?
And measure, look at, whatever, we're open, this is canvas, this is time for us to make something really cool.
Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll drop the grapes off to Jeremy's office.
Never seen them.
Hey, good luck
Having
seeing
wine
them.
tastings on Fridays at 4:30.
So, they'll be there, I'll bring them over and you can stop by. Get 'em.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Free to leave.
Parking lot, I don't know if we're gonna be able to get out.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
Okay.
Next item on
Nice to meet you guys.
is zoning case 674T text amendment.
Yes. So a few months ago, we looked at discussing the amendment for pool setbacks. Trying to clean things up and make sure that we don't have any setting precedent issues that we had with the ZBA case, that a lot of things came to light over the last decade or so. So with this memo that you have in front of you in this public hearing we're going to have today, for swimming pools, spas, and hot tubs and similar facilities surrounding decks or walks or similar accessories located within 15 feet of the lot line, looking to kind of clear that up. So in front of you, I don't know if you want to go through changes or if you want me to just kind of.
I have it, I was switching back and forth between the ordinance and the winery thing. I'm still stuck in there. Because I know that you talked about this and the addition that was, the additions that were added spoke to the outer edges of the, or really about the walkways or around the pools that seemed to be a problem. One question I had for you, did you talk about how this, I didn't get a chance to talk to Andy because not feeling well. The unenclosed decks that are allowed 3 feet from the side setbacks in relation to this section?
We did not, because it was more just,
I know it's specific to pools, and maybe
Correct.
there is something, and I guess that's the question, is there something about a pool, activity around the pool that is different than activity that would be on an unenclosed deck?
I think there's potential for more noise from a pool.
And that's all
than-
fine, I just
And we
wanted to
did,
think
we
through
did
that.
discuss that point.
Runoff also on the
Runoff.
deck,
Yeah.
it would just go right down, but if they're right up to the setback, or right up to the line, it would go onto the other person's property.
Yeah,
That was in my packet.
good. Okay.
So I think,
That was
and
my only comment for
spoke
you.
with our building inspectors regarding this, and both of them signed off on the amendment as it sits in front of you today, so they don't have any issue with that either.
And you are addressing in-ground and above-ground, so I think you're kind of covered on all of those things.
Anybody have any comments now that they've seen the draft? We talked about it previously. So I guess we need to open up the public comment.
Yes, sir.
All right, we'll open up to the public if there's anyone hiding that would like to speak. Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing, bring it back up to the planning commission. So you're looking for us to send this up to,
Recommendation to the township board, please.
business.
You making a motion?
Motion?
Oh,
The support.
The support was by
Mr. Johnson.
Mr. Johnson.
I can't make all the motions.
Any further discussion? If not, we'll vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion passes 8-0. Send it up to the township board.
Thank you.
Next item is a text amendment discussion.
So we don't have anything to discuss per se as far as memos are concerned, but a few things that we should probably look at here in the next month or two. I know we're getting into the holidays, so it's going to be hard to kind of do some of these things, but I was told by the higher brass that they want to codify all the ordinances shortly after the first of the year. Not that we can't make any changes after that, but it's better if we can get most of these done before then, but not necessary. So there's certain things, it is what it is, but we've discussed EV chargers before. Maybe not making it required, but at least having underground put in, maybe not requiring to have underground put in, but at least talk, I think we need to readdress that, the EV chargers. So just things on the horizon that we're looking at. Also, had a ZBA case regarding it was an actual barn dominium that requested double what their allowable accessory structure would allow, and they were on 60 acres. As it sits now, anything over 2 acres, you can double your total square footage of your home, but that's where it stops. This gentleman had 60 acres and was upset that he could only have double what was allowed, and I said, well, as it stands today, that's what we have. My suggestion is some kind of graduated scale for acreage, using what we have kind of already set up in the book now. I don't know if there's potential for maybe, because the way the ordinance reads today is you also have to include in the deduction for what's left over, you include the attached garage as well. I don't know if we want to take a look at removing that option too. The easiest way, in my opinion, would just be to add a graduated scale. Once you get to 5 acres, you get to do times 3, 10 times 4, there's got to be a way to get, there's only, I think we said 25 parcels over, residential zone parcels over 50 acres in the township. There's 75 over 25. So I mean, this is a very, very small demographic that we're going to be catering to, but in the event that somebody comes, they're getting handcuffed because we stop at 2 acres. So I'd like to look at that as well. And then last but not least, our presentation today. I feel we need to do some research on that and bring something before you guys and see if we can entertain something to help them out. I can't guarantee anything, and I told them that from the beginning. I said, you've got hurdles. They heard it all tonight. So, I mean, it's not that it can't be done. It's not that
What the size of their property was, it was like in 40 acres.
it's roughly 30 to 40 acres, yes. I just, my issues are my issues, and no matter what, those are the big things that we look at in any site plan. When you're in, even more so when you're in residential and trying to do a semi-commercial use on it, I'm sorry, but we've got issues and we've got standards. I mean, I'm not saying we can't adjust things, but parking and bathrooms that's a big thing that is gonna have to be looked at, and unfortunately, they don't have a lot of space for parking. Could we get away with not paving it? Sure. But emergency access, that's another big concern. It is, it's very bumpy. You can't, if a ambulance had to go flying through there, no way. You couldn't fly down that at 30 miles an hour.
Oh, you'd be surprised.
About a half mile to get back to the vineyard.
So they just would have to pave the half mile?
They're not the only ones that have access to leach though, too. So maybe they could, if they're the ones doing it, I can't see us telling them they gotta have pavement all the way back there. But again, it's another thing to look at is now you've got to put X amount of dollars in rehabbing that road, or maybe it needs to have better drainage. Well, I know, it's a big ask, but they're also asking to do things that aren't in the book. So, I mean, there's gotta be some give and take in some of this stuff. Like, I'm not arguing that that's not beautiful. I was back there. It looks like Traverse City, but we can only do so much in residential.
Couldn't they have a fundraiser for it if that was a one-time use thing that day?
Sure,
To pave the road?
sure, but all the requirements have to be met before they can do that use.
Paving that road's probably $1 million.
$1 million? Holy cow. Okay, never mind.
I will mention, so the rest of the major part of that was sold here recently, wasn't it?
I don't know about sold, but we've got developers looking at putting in acreage tract rural estates, if you will, 2-3 acre
like up
parcels. Yes.
There's that one keyhole that goes to McCamlin.
So the original idea there from Lebowski's son was that they were going to do this type of thing in combination and have the entrance off of McCandless Road. But they've pretty much separated from doing it together, and now he's just trying to, I mean, at the same time that they planted their grapes 10 years ago, Lebowski planted some over actually where I am, and those haven't been touched in 9 years. And theirs have flourished, and they've done, they've moved forward with their plans. But the original plan was actually to come out on the McCamlin.
Sure. Yep. So major arterial road could be another potential hurdle.
Right.
Like I said, small events, we don't have a problem with. Brass they don't have a problem. They can do that tomorrow if they want. We don't care. These big, north of 60, 80, 100 people, even having a yoga I mean, where's people, if you're out there for 2 hours, where are you going to the bathroom? You don't want them wandering off into the grapes and, relieving themselves next to the grapes.
Holding it position.
Typically yoga's an hour, and there's 20 people in the class,
Sure,
typically.
sure. But if they bring a busload of kids and parents, there's,
I don't think they were talking about the parents for the yoga class.
no. But there are other events. They wanted, they wanted 50 to 60 to 80 people out there. I mean, 2 busloads of people, there's 60 people right there. So, I mean, we gotta draw a line in the sand somewhere. But they've had weddings out there.
Oh, really?
Couple, from my understanding. So this needs to be
What I
addressed.
heard them say is the actual ceremony would be there, so you can take pictures and all that kind of stuff.
Sure.
But then,
But again,
it sounds like the rest, the food and everything else would likely be at a local establishment or something.
sure, but my understanding, they had full-blown weddings out there.
Meaning with reception.
Yep. So this needs to be addressed.
Well, yeah, they probably didn't want it to show up in the newspapers.
Sure. So,
No, it's a great,
no, it's a great space. It's, you've seen the pictures. I've been out there. I mean, it's great. I'm all for looking into this and maybe changing some things, but there's still major hurdles that they need to address.
and where you were talking about with the barn dominium, multiplying the allowable space for that, maybe this has a minimum space of 25 acres or something that, so you won't get this.
Oh, sure, yeah, we could do that too. We do that in other
At what
uses
point is it
too.
actually in just another house? Like, it's
Yeah.
another dwelling
Yeah,
typically, right? The barn dominium, it's not just a barn, it's a barn with living space.
accessories.
No, but I meant with, with an event space and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah, what they were talking
they were
about?
talking
Oh, yeah,
about
no, that, we're not, you're gonna have you're gonna have people come into your home and have an event? Yeah, I don't know about all that.
Wasn't that what the Ocker estate is doing?
Kind of, but yeah, actually,
The original plan
Talking
wasn't,
about it, that's what I.
Yeah,
like in
it
my
is.
head.
switched to is,
yeah.
Isn't that kind of what Kerwood has worked into?
That's what they're saying, the Ocker Mansion, yeah.
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 But they're on-
What is the Ocker thing? How is that different from? what-
Major arterial road, they've got an established building, they've got power, they've got water, they've got sewer. They actually have most of the issues that I have, covered.
Yeah.
So that's the big difference.
So if they decided to build a house on there, but then converted that house to an event space, that wouldn't work?
No.
Zoning doesn't allow for it.
Zoning doesn't allow for a house?
For a house, yes, but to convert it into
To
something
convert it
else,
to
no.
something else.
Right.
converted into a nursing home.
Commercial use.
Right.
It's also on an arterial road.
Right. Right. That arterial road thing is gonna,
Right.
that's gonna be,
I believe those are.
That's gonna be a
only
big
15
thing.
People though.
you get 200 people out there and
Driving up and down.
driving up and down that road and you
Right
can't,
behind somebody's house.
Two people can't go at the same time.
it's tight. It'd be tight.
I go down, I go down a road almost every day down in Davisburg area that's narrower than that one, and there's cars going both ways.
Sure.
Anyway,
Yep. Ms. Hugo, myself, Mr. Bush, and Mr. Joyner, we went to the planning conference. Jill and Giffords Webster was there with a couple other planning consultants, and great conference, a lot of good information. I had some classes that weren't as presented, but it happens every time. But great conference, great location.
Andy and Joe Tangari from our office did a session on PUDs. Did you go to, you didn't
I didn't
go to that? Well,
no,
I will
sure.
volunteer Andy to bring that presentation to you.
Yeah,
Maybe
great.
not the whole hour of it, but
Right.
maybe a short version.
Or even just a print copy if he's got it. If the slides, I
Yeah.
can give them the slides.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but he can walk through.
Sure. Yeah.
He'd love that.
Yeah. One other item, I was alerted to this about 2 weeks ago. Former planning commissioner Vince Bandersky passed away in the end of September.
Oh, no kidding.
Wait, who?
Vince Bandersky,
Bandersky.
Oh, dear.
yeah, passed away the end of September. It was quiet, it was just family, from what the obituary said, so it was, yep. He was planning commissioner for, 12, 15 years?
Oh, gosh, yeah.
He just retired from the planning commission about 2-3 years ago.
Yeah, it wasn't so long ago.
Yeah, it wasn't too long ago. So, yeah, unfortunately, he passed away the end of
don't
September.
retire from the planning commission.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Saved lives.
So we'll have a couple different things for you next month for text amendment discussion. Not sure which ones yet. We'll have 2 or 3 of them for you, so. We're getting towards the end of the master plan items. We'll start the master plan process again in '26. October of '21 was the last time, so October of '26 would be 5 years. So 5 to 7 years. In that frame is usually when we look at it again. So just on the horizon, won't be something we start right out in '26 with, but we'll definitely get with Giffords Webster and we'll have some work sessions with us, probably with some of the ZBA members, township board members, to make sure that we're looking at that current zoning map, future land use map, and any other amendments that we've either missed or pushed off. There was some, like, condensing some of the
Collapsing some of the districts.
residential
And that
and
was
the.
part of the residential thing that we talked about a couple months ago,
Even
and,
office and PO,
right,
that's kind of,
those are good
Similar.
things to follow,
yeah,
look at the future land use map.
yep. So a couple of those items, we'd felt that wasn't necessary here. We should do that for master plan.
Cool.
Yep. That's all I have.
Questions? If not, we move on to committee reports. Ms. Hugo,
I have nothing to report
nothing to report?
that I would like to share.
What about CBA?
ZBA, we've had quite a run on ZBA, actually. We've had more ZBA this year than we've had since I started 5 years ago, so it's been quite a busy year for ZBA, but it was that barn dominium I talked about, that actually passed. He proved that it was a special kind of thing, that he had hardship on that, so that was approved. There was, I'm trying to think of what the one before that was. We had the gentleman that had the pool and the Florida room on the same property. They came back 2 different times for variances. I think that's about it.
That's
We
not
had
much, but I mean, that's a lot considering.
Well, yeah, we've had 7 or 8 ZBAs just this year, and we didn't have, there was 2 or 3 years, the last couple of years, we didn't have any.
This is the most meetings I've ever been to.
Yep.
It was, I mean, every month they kept getting moved to the next month.
Yeah.
No agenda items.
Yep.
It's wild.
We had a site plan review committee meeting before this meeting today. I don't know if you want to allude to that, Mr. Gillings?
Yeah. That's the only thing we've seen in the last month, is this,
Probably 6 months on site plan review committee.
quite a while.
Yeah.
Is it Ligera
Ligera Tech, yep.
Technologies? They want to put about a 32,000 square foot addition on
Outbuilding.
their property,
Yep.
yeah. It's not going to be attached to the existing building, it'll be about 20 feet away. Metal
To
building.
remove all the.
Storage, yeah.
They've got magnesium empty crates, and they've got them stored in their parking lot, and I mean,
A lot of
they're
crates in the parking
they're
lot.
3 or 4 high, so they're probably 8 to 10 feet tall, and there's probably, I'd say probably close to 100, 200 crates in the parking lot right now.
Yeah.
So they're gonna take those, put them inside, take the other storage they have in the building, move that into that building as well, so they can get more equipment in the actual main building.
Yep, it's been a while.
Yep.
Any other business?
We will have a December meeting. Eludes me of what we'll have on there. We'll have text amendment discussion, but I can't remember if we have any site plans or anything on there at this time.
Motion to
I'll
adjourn
make
at
the
8
motion.
PM?
He was waiting for that one.
Mr. Johnson to adjourn, support by Mr. Joyner. All those in favor, signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes 8-0.
Yeah.